Nature doesn't draw straight lines. That's what geologist Yves Fouquet thought when he stared at a newly generated undersea map of the Atlantic seabed off the coast of western France. Cutting cleanly across an underwater valley was something impossible to ignore. A ruleless straight line, nearly 400 feet long, lying 30 feet beneath the waves. At first glance, it looked like a glitch, but it wasn't. What divers would later find beneath the cold, churning waters near their tiny island of sand would challenge long held assumptions about prehistoric societies and breathe new life into one of Europe's oldest legends, a city swallowed by the sea. Using LIDAR and high resolution seabed mapping, researchers identified a massive stone structure, now known as Taff 1. When visibility finally improved during winter seaweed die off, marine archaeologists descended. What they found was astonishing. A man made stone wall, averaging 20 meters wide, 2 meters tall, built from roughly 60 massive granite monoliths, weighing an estimated 3,300 tons. This is now the largest underwater stone structure ever discovered in France, and it wasn't random rubble. The stones were placed in pairs, directly onto bedrock, locked together with smaller packing stones, deliberate, planned, and engineered. By reconstructing ancient coastlines and sea level changes, researchers dated Taft 1 to between 5,800 and 5,300 BCE. That makes it older than Stonehenge and thousands of years older than the pyramids of Giza. At the time, Europe was still dominated by hunter-gatherer societies, at least according to conventional models. But TAF 1 doesn't look like the work of small, disorganized groups. It suggests coordination, long-term planning, and engineering knowledge that many scholars believe shouldn't exist yet. So why build it? A defensive dike designed to hold back rising seas as the last ice age ended? A massive fish trap system positioned in the tidal zone to funnel marine life? Those are mainstream archaeological theories. Both explanations are plausible, and neither diminishes the achievement. Either way, this wall represents an attempt to shape the environment itself, but not everyone is satisfied with purely functional explanations. TAF 1 is not alone. The surrounding seabed contains at least a dozen additional stone structures, smaller but clearly artificial. Together, they form a design landscape, not a single isolated project. Even more intriguing, the paired monoliths of Taff 1 closely resemble standing stones found on land across Brittany, except the underwater ones are older. This implies something extraordinary. Megalithic construction techniques may have originated with Mesolithic hunter-gatherers and were later inherited by Neolithic farming societies. That idea alone challenges a core assumption of European prehistory. Here, archaeology brushes up against folklore. According to tradition, Ys was fabulously wealthy, protected by a massive sea wall, sealed by a gate open only at low tide. When the gate failed, the sea rushed in, drowning the city. Mainstream archaeologists caution that no sunken metropolis has been found, but researchers themselves note something intriguing. The sudden abandonment of engineered coastal landscapes may have left a deep cultural memory. Over generations, that memory may have hardened into myth. Not proof of ease, but perhaps the seed of it. The discovery reignites a long running academic tension. Mainstream view? These were advanced but still local practical constructions, no lost civilizations required. The alternative view, on the other hand, these were coastal societies that were far more sophisticated than assumed. Much of their world now lies underwater, erased by rising seas. What both sides increasingly agree on is this: prehistory was not simple, and our maps of the ancient world are deeply incomplete. TAF 1 shows us something profound. Not a lost Atlantis, but a lost coastline, engineered by people adapting to a changing world. As sea levels rose, their structures vanished, but their memory may not have. How many other chapters of human history lie offshore? Silent, submerged, waiting. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Ancient Destinations channel for more journeys into humanity's forgotten past, where history, science, and legend collide.